I really like talking about horses and new opportunities that are coming up in all of the various timed events in rodeo and beyond. Joining me, two of the best breakaway ropers in the country, Taylor Munsell, Erin Johnson. Taylor right now is number third in the WPRA. The Roping Futurities of America just put on a big roping, tie down roping and breakaway roping, a futurity, a derby, and a slot roping at both events. And these two ended up winning a really big check. Taylor, Erin, thanks to both of you for your time. I really appreciate it. Taylor, let me start with you. You won the slot roping. Boy, it's nice to have opportunities like that where you can go win a whole big bunch of money at one time like that.
Yeah, it definitely helps going into right before the rodeo season starts to get busy to kind of pad the fees for the summer a little bit there with the win like that, especially being pretty close to home for me.
When I say I should clarify what I mean when I say a whole big bunch of money. Riding a horse called Rayo Grand Cat that belongs to Lex Christie won the first go around with a 2.7, $18,000. Won the average with a 6.31 on two. That paid $50,000. Breakaway roping has grown in a hurry. Erin, you won 30,000. You were second in the average. Breakaway roping has grown a lot, but there still aren't that many great opportunities to win $50,000 in one shot.
No, this is an awesome opportunity. This is the third year they've done this roping, but it's high risk, high reward. The slot fees for this roping are $5,000. When they started it, I thought, man, I want kind of a seat at the table for this, and so I called and I got a spot. But it's a fairly big commitment to be tied into $5,000 a year, whether you have the right horse or not. And then if you don't have the right horse, you have to maybe try to lease that spot to somebody who does. But it's paid off. I won fourth in the very first year. I won fourth on a horse that Zeke Griffith owned and trained, and so that kind of broke me even for that year. And then last year I rode a horse that I rode, or that I raised, and she was a little introverted, didn't really run like I needed her to run. I didn't win anything. And then this year I rode a horse that my friends Erin and Hope Rayleigh raised. They actually have a barrel horse program, but they have a little stylish ray mare that the Erin heels on a little bit, and they bred her to Cowboy Cartel, which is obviously a barrel race bred horse. And Erin called last year and he said, Erin, I think I have a horse that might work for that deal. Let's try her. And I said, sure, we'll try her. And so she came along really good, and I was excited to get to ride her.
Taylor, I asked you before we started this, your horse Rayo Grand Cat, I got to believe that goes back to the Ray horses that have done so well in cutting and reining and rein cow horse. And with the name Cat on the end of it, maybe even Metallic Cat thrown in there too. You told me that you really hadn't even been on the horse very much, but you turned around and won $68,000 in one roping.
Yeah, Lex had been sending me videos of that horse for a long time, wanting me to ride him at that deal, and we'd agreed upon it, but we'd kind of struggled getting together for me to ride any on him, so I roped on him the Sunday after Austin Short Round, so the Sunday before the rope and maturity, wow. And that was the only time I ever rode him. Only time I ever seen him other than in videos until I rode him at the slot that day.
How old were these horses, Taylor? Are they 4-year-olds? Is that the way that I understand?
Yeah, they're 4-year-olds.
How much opportunity, ladies, is developing now? We have done a million stories about, boy, breakaway roping's really blowing up, which it has. I mean, no question about it. But as breakaway roping blows up, Erin, that brings all kinds of new opportunities for the horse market to blow up with it too, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the demand that with the increase of payout in the breakaway roping, comes a demand for more and better horses. And I think it's really been an asset, or just a benefit to the horse market that there's somewhere else to go with some of these horses. There's a lot of horses that in the past, if they don't make a calf horse, they might make a heel horse, or there's obviously some avenues, but it just adds a whole nother avenue. And breakaway roping is fairly simple. I mean, a horse has to do some basic things really well in order to be really high level, but there's even a great demand for not a super high level horse, because we have all these little girls that are excited about doing this. Gosh, if I had a pin full of horses that were just good old 18-year-old campaigners, I could sell them all, if they just
Really?
back in the corner and lope across the line and follow a calf, but the demand for the horses has increased greatly, and so it just makes it cool that and the good ones are obviously always going to be worth a lot of money.
This Roping Futurities of America event, it featured tie down roping and breakaway roping both. Taylor, this might be Steve's dumb question to the interview, but I'm going to throw it at you just for the heck of it. Riley Pruitt won a lot of money at this roping. He was the winner in the slot race, or the slot roping, and the Derby. And Chance Oftedal won the Futurity or Chance Thiessen, I should say, won the Futurity on a horse called Boonswinger. Was there some crossover? I mean, were there, because the skill sets of a lot of tie down roping and breakaway roping horses, at least up until the moment where you step off and flank and tie, are pretty similar. Was there some crossover? Were there some guys that mounted out their tie down roping horses in the breakaway Futurity, for example?
There was a few horses, yeah. There was definitely, I couldn't attest to how many, but there were several horses I know that were in the tie down that were also rode in the breakaway. They had a super horse deal they give away, which was a horse that was in both the breakaway and the tie down slot that won the most money, entered in both slots. And I think Blake Ash's horse won that. But yeah, there was a few. I do think not as many as you would expect, really, though, that were in both.
Tim, either one of you can take this. The growth of breakaway has had an impact on the price of tie down roping horses, hasn't it? All of a sudden, you're the guys. I talked to Shad Mayfield about this, I don't know, a year ago or more. He said, yeah, you can't afford to buy your tie down roping horses anymore because the breakaway roping horses have gotten so expensive. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Erin.
They got to be a pretty good one to go be that caliber in the tie down, and breakaway ropers those are few and far between, and breakaway ropers are starting to spend the money on them to buy those horses to win on, because you can win that much money on them to afford
Erin,
to buy those horses.
You made a great comment about if I had a pasture full of nice lopers that, you could sell every one of them to a junior rodeo kid. But how much before this breakaway boom, was there a ballpark of, your pretty good breakaway horse could sell for X, and now all of a sudden it's selling for Y?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, I feel like before this breakaway thing started, at the pro rodeo level, gosh, I hate to say exactly, but I think you could buy a really nice breakaway horse for $15,000, and I don't think $15,000 will even start a decent prospect right now.
Wow.
So it's crazy. And I mean, a good breakaway horse, I would hate to venture what a really great one might be worth. I mean, upwards of 100,000, maybe more. I don't know. I mean, if they're proven winners and they're ready to go and seasoned, the potential, really the value of a horse is determined by the potential that you can win on them. And in the past, the potential to win on a calf roping, team roping horse was a lot more than the potential to win on a breakaway horse. But now that's not necessarily the case anymore. So obviously the value of those horses are going to go up.
Taylor, do you think we're going to see more big opportunities like this one? I don't know how much. My family's in the barrel racing business, and there's a Futurity every week, it seems like. There are a bunch of slot races. The team roping Futurities are really starting to blossom. I don't think tie down roping and breakaway roping are that far behind. Am I right in saying that?
No, I don't think they are. The breakaway, I think, is going to keep growing, because that, like I've said, this breakaway Futurity stuff is going to give people another avenue in breakaway that don't necessarily want to go pro rodeo. It's not going to be their only option now. There's going to be Futurity horse trainers. There's going to be people that are buying and owning the Futurity horses that are getting shown. There's going to be the people that show up and ride the horses. Yeah. So it's going to be a whole nother group of people that can find their niche in training and showing Futurity horses. And I think it's going to get huge. I mean, if you just see how much better the Futurity horses have gotten since the first year they started doing this stuff to this year. I mean, it's crazy how talented and athletic some of these 4-year-olds are.
The first year they had this deal, I think shoot, if you would just run a couple of them down, I think I was like 4 and 4, a long 4 and 3.5 in 1 second the first year. And I know last year that didn't come close. And this year, I don't think that really would have got you paid very much.
I don't think it even really would have placed.
Right.
And like,
I agree.
I don't remember exactly the whole placings in every run, but me and Erin were back to back both runs. So I remember watching both our runs, and like, those are pretty, I mean, full contact runs, like asking a horse to score on some pretty tough score on those calves, and then drop off your hand and run across the line, and then be prepared to read it and not gain too fast. Like, those are some pretty full contact runs for babies to be making.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing I would have ever expected to do on a 4-year-old 4 years ago.
Yep.
Go ahead, Erin.
Well, the level of competition has definitely stepped up quite a bit, and back to what Taylor was saying, I agree. Like, this just provides more opportunity for more people to be involved. Not everybody wants to go down the rodeo road and go to 80 rodeos a year and try to make the NFR. The opportunities to be involved, though, I mean, I have friends that love riding young horses. I mean, now their young horses are worth something, even if they're not a trainer. And if they are a trainer, they can stay home and train horses and still have somewhere to go that they can be excited about, that they could potentially win big money. I think it's awesome.
You mentioned something there, Erin, and I'll get back to this futurity in a minute, but you made the comment about going down the rodeo road and going to 80 rodeos. And I'm curious, when 2018, 2019, when a lot of good rodeos started adding Breakaway, and then, the COVID year was 2020, which was actually the year of the first national finals of Breakaway roping at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. But each year, I mean, I forget the statistic. 2017, 2018, there were 30 rodeos that offered Breakaway. Now there's over 400 or maybe more now.
Yeah.
I remember on the Cowboy Channel a lot talking about this, saying, one of the things that the Breakaway ropers are learning in a hurry now is how to travel. Was I right in saying that? Because y'all had to kind of figure out where to enter and how to manage the 4th of July and all those kinds of things. Was I right in saying that?
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody stepped up their game and they figured it out, whether it's by trial and error or, tapping into some resources of, other people. I feel like, my husband had rodeoed just enough that I kind of was comfortable making those rodeo plans and stuff. But a lot of people have just dove in and learned, and I think it's awesome. But yeah, they're traveling just like everybody else.
Yeah, that includes 10-hour flight delays sometimes, Taylor. I mean, Taylor may or may not have spent a long time at an airport this week. Y'all had to learn a little bit, I think, trial by error, trial by fire, trial by something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. We were all rookies at the same time. So, like Erin said, there was a few husbands, boyfriends, dads that kind of definitely helped, but in the realistic looking at it, we were all rookies at the same time. So it was a learning curve.
Regardless of whether we had resources on how to enter and where to go, we were all backing in the box at those rodeos for the first time ever. I mean, there's obviously a benefit of going somewhere and been there before, and you kind of have, most rodeos tend to have a similar outcome year in and year out. You have an idea whether you're going to have to be, 2 flat or 1-9 to win a check, or whether you're going to have to be 3 flat to win a check, and I think knowing those things is an advantage, but when we first started, none of us had that advantage. We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. Taylor, tell me about you've got some nice horses in your herd. Which one is your number one? Which one is the one we see at most of the big rodeos? You're about to head to San Angelo. Who are you going to ride down there?
It's tough for me on the 3. Like, I try now that's what I struggled with at the beginning, was having those 3. And then I felt like I was sending the wrong horse to every rodeo. Not that I can't win on all of them, but just that I would have rather been riding one of the others at every rodeo. And I feel like now I'm starting to get a better understanding of the rodeos, the formats, and like what horse is going to be best there.
Right.
And yeah, I can't say for sure like which one is my number one, because it just depends what it is. Monster's getting older, so he's not going to go down the road with me anymore. the yellow horse is also getting older, but that's always been my grunt horse. He kind of picks up all the slack and works on the backside. Nobody realizes how much money that horse wins. And then Colonel's the one that everybody sees,
Loves.
which I do ride on most of the big stages. But I'm planning to ride Monster at San Angelo. They did not run the breakaway slack before the purse like the other events, and I'm in the first perf. So we don't really have any idea. This is our first year. We don't really have any idea what we're going into there. And Monster's my old faithful, and just I can kind of float across the line and judge the score a little better on him.
It's San Angelo is, and I should have probably asked these questions in reverse order. San Angelo is the next big rodeo to have Breakaway. And so, yeah, new learning curve, but great opportunity. They pay out a lot of money in San Angelo.
Yes, they do.
We're excited to get to go to that one.
Yeah.
Very
When are you up
excited.
there, Erin?
I'm not up there till the last set. I think the 17th and the 18th. I'm not going out to California this year. I didn't go last year either. It's kind of springtime's kind of my time to stay home with my kids and stuff and watch some baseball. And so I decided to try for San Angelo at the end. And just in case I do well, I won't have to make 2 trips.
I tried for San Angelo at the end too.
And you didn't get it, obviously.
No, I did not get it.
Yeah. Oh, well, be the guinea pig for everybody else, Taylor. It's fine. I mean, you made
Show
the.
us how it's done.
Yeah,
it's going to be good no matter what.
I need to ask you about the winner you've had, Taylor. You were second in the average in Austin, Final 4 in Houston, short round in San Antonio. You're third in the world right now. That's a pretty good start to 2024.
Yeah, that's a real good start. It's been like a running joke. I've never had a good winner. I think last year I won like $1,800 in the winner. It's just never been very good to me, and I always come into the summer pretty far behind. And this year it's been a little different. I've roped really good this winter and kind of stayed in time with my horses and stuff, where I always kind of, after the NFR, I'd always take a break and like break down my roping and rebuild it. And I think I took that a little too much to heart and was in tuning mode, not in rodeo mode when the winter come on. So this year I tried to stay a little more in rodeo mode, competitive mode. Yeah. And it definitely helped a lot this year. I've had a great winter. I'm super excited for the rest of the year now, going in a little better than I normally do.
Yeah. Erin, you're actually 29th in the world. I don't know where that, how are your winters normally? Do you?
Well, this is actually the first winter that I didn't make the finals at all 3 major winter rodeos. The last 2 years I've made the finals at Fort Worth, San Antonio, and Houston. This year I did not do any good at Fort Worth. I did okay at San Antonio, won a little money out of there, and then I didn't do any good at Houston. And I won a little bit out of Austin in one round. But anyway, Taylor and I have like switched roles, because usually I'm coming out of the winter. I had 35,000 coming out of the winter last year, which is, a substantial amount of money. And the year before that, the year that I won Houston, of course, they only counted half of mine the year that I won Houston. But the year I won Houston, I came out of the winter in very good shape. Also, I think probably winning the world. But this year, not so much. So I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful that maybe I'll have the summer that Taylor normally has and just kind of come back. I don't.
It is kind of fun. You just kind of get to go at them all summer. Yeah. You get to chase everybody instead of being chased.
I've always said, like, nothing is won or lost before August. I mean, if you can get on a roll come August, you're golden, So I've never felt like I've had anywhere close to the summer that I should have, or that I'm capable of having. Definitely should have, based on my horsepower. I feel like my horse is good for the summertime, and so I'm excited. Maybe it'll kind of make me hungry this year and change things for my summer.
I've
the
done
breakaway is really close too.
Yeah,
if you look down, if like the breakaway money wise standings is close, like down a ways.
Oh, is it? I have not even looked. I didn't even know where I was at. So, but yeah.
We met the other day, and it's pretty tight. I mean, a long ways down.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So
Money-wise.
it's kind of anybody's still in the hunt.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one good weekend at any of the big rodeos and
make
change a lot of things.
Yep.
breakaway roping world standings in the WPRA right now. Jackie Crawford after Houston, 76,000, which is a big winner for a breakaway roper. Danielle Lohman, 59,000. Taylor, you're third. You got almost 43,000. Number 15 right now is Addie Weil, and she's won $20,000. And just to compare that, I mentioned, Erin, you're 29th. You're only 8,000 back at 12,000. So that's a manageable gap, especially for somebody who's got the horsepower and the experience that you've got. So I've got money infused with a lot of
seasoned veteran.
What's that?
You're calling me a seasoned veteran?
Yeah, I think, three-time world champion and all that. Yeah, you're a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, no, and I was gonna. Taylor and I are also opposite on our horsepower deal because Taylor has 3 great horses. I have 1 great horse, but I agree with her. Sometimes it's better to just have 1 in the trailer and not second guess whether you rode the right horse or not. Because I've been there before where you take 2 and you ride 1 and you're like, gosh dang it, I rode the wrong one. I hate that. I hate second guessing myself. So it's better for me just to have 1 good one, and he's what I've got.
Yeah. So which one are you talking about? When I visualize you roping, I see the Palomino. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's that's been my go-to horse for literally, this is probably like the 9th or 10th year that I've ridden that horse exclusively. He's always been exclusively mine. I started on the gray horse, and you saw him a little bit last summer because the yellow horse got a little bit sore. But the gray horse was phenomenal for me for a long time. I won some world championships on him, and he really fit me well. But then my husband started tying down on him, and I went to the yellow horse, which was a completely like 180 style wise of a horse. And so my roping changed to fit the yellow. The gray horse kind of changed when my husband started tying down on him. And so now I struggle when I go back to the gray horse. He's still a phenomenal horse, but I really struggle when I go back to him. So if I can stay on the yellow, that's my choice.
Yeah. Here's Steve's other dumb question of the interview, ladies, and either one of you can. When I know with my family and with our barrel horses, for example, my son's got like 6 of them he's going to throw in a horse trailer later today and go someplace with. You almost have to remember which horse you're riding. If you've got 2 or 3, like you talked about having, Taylor, do you have to remind yourself when you're in the box, okay, this one does this one does that? Breakaway roping happens so quick, I guess is the reason I asked the question. Do you have to remind yourself who you're sitting on when you ride in the box, or is it a big deal?
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Between the bay and the yellow, it's not as much a big deal, but when I get on the sorrel, he's a lot different. I tend to float my horses across the line, jump them, and then pick up on them. And that horse is too strong. I can't do that on him. I will do it once in a while. Once in a while it'll work, but you'll see it not work a lot of the time. So on him, I really have to focus on sitting still, scoring, seeing the start, almost being late because he's so fast across the line and he gains so fast. So I almost have to miss the barrier on him, where the other 2, I'm trying to just hit the barrier and max it out.
Yeah. Financially, this roping Futurities of American thing, I mean, the money doesn't count in the world standings, but $68,000 in one weekend, Taylor's a big deal.
Yeah. And that horse actually ended up winning the shootout too. So he won. He's a little baby 4-year-old with 73,000 to his name.
Yeah.
They had a shootout the last day with the top 6 in the average.
Wow.
And he won that as well.
Yeah. Bo Peterson placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd on 3 different horses, all owned by a gentleman named Walter Johnson in the Breakaway Futurity. And I think Cheyenne McCartney won the Derby. And she told me she had as good a weekend as she's ever had roping at that event. And she also did really well in the slot roping as well that we were talking about with you two. She won 2nd in a go round there. And if you follow breakaway talent, for example, just in the slot roping, Taylor Munsell 1st, Erin Johnson 2nd, Riley George, Jackie Crawford, Ricky Fanning, Brady Good. That's a field of breakaway ropers all run to the fence and watch anytime. This thing was loaded with talent.
It was super cool to watch.
They only sell 50 spots in that slot, and so I feel like everybody's recruiting the best girls. I mean, you have to have somebody on those horses that has a chance to compete. And so really you got the fifth best, and one roper can't rope more than one. So, you know, everybody can only rope on one horse in that particular. And now in the open futurity, you can, like you said, Bo Peterson won first, second, third. She can ride as many horses as she wants in the open futurity, but the slot, you can only ride one. But those owners have recruited the best girls in the world. So yeah, you're watching the top 50 girls in the world for sure.
Yeah. Before I let you both go, because even though Taylor asked for the last set in San Angelo, she needs to get there because she's in the first set in San Angelo. I want to ask you about Thanksgiving weekend and then on to the national finals of Breakaway. There's that $1 million breakaway roping that's going to happen in Scottsdale, Arizona, right before the NFR. Unfortunately, only 4 or 5 hours away from Las Vegas, so it's going to be an easy trip from one to the other. But we talk so much about the opportunities that are developing in the breakaway roping at big rodeos. Now, all of a sudden, those opportunities are developing at big jackpots and other events like this.
Yeah, I'm super intrigued by that deal. I mean, it's an awesome deal and going to be an awesome opportunity. I'm really hopeful to be top 10 in the world, so I'm just going to go straight into it. But it's going to bring a lot of girls in. I mean, those qualifiers and stuff are going to have a whole lot of girls, and it's going to be a tough deal. And I think it's going to be super awesome watching in the end, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Taylor, or Erin, go ahead.
Well, it's going to be really cool. I haven't really looked into it that much. I'm going to play it by ear because, like I said, I hope that I get to go to that deal, but the opportunities are pretty cool.
After San Angelo, Taylor, what is next for you?
I go out to the California run after San Angelo. We'll go out to Salina, Logandale, and then out to California for the whole month of April.
Got it. And Erin, you said you're going to take some time off. When are you going to be? I mean, I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of rodeo cowboys and a few cowgirls that say if you hit them hard starting in Reno, even you can still make the finals. I don't know if that's the way you look at it or not, but you're going to take a little bit of time and then get back to it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure hopeful that that's the case. Although I entered the Salina, Utah deal too. It's a Calgary qualifier. Taylor and I are both in Calgary, but it counts for standings. That's next weekend. And then I did enter Logandale also, and then we'll come back, kind of make it a circle and come back to San Angelo. So those are, yeah, I mean, I'm entered a little bit, and I'll probably try to I'll enter Guyman in May. It's literally 3.5 hours from my house. And hopefully some circuit rodeos closer here in May and part of June. But Reno's my goal, my target date, I guess, for kind of getting back in the swing of rodeo and full time for sure. So yes, I'm hopeful that I can start at Reno and have a chance.
If either of you win Reno, promise me you will do at least as animated a celebration as JJ did the year she won the Reno rodeo. That was
no promises there. Sorry.
I don't think I can compete with that.
No, me neither.
that was one of the greatest. I just won a big rodeo celebrations I think I've ever seen.
But that's how exciting it is for us as breakaway ropers to have the opportunities to win at those. I felt the same way that I won when I won Houston. I mean, it was overwhelming how cool of an opportunity it is for us. I mean, we never dreamed we would be at those rodeos ever. I mean, we've watched our loved, husbands, son, JJ's nephew, brothers, sons, dads at those caliber rodeos our whole lives and never even dreamed that we would have that chance. So I really understand the overwhelming emotion that comes with a win like that. It's just amazing.
Speaking of big rodeos, Taylor, I'm doing this from memory, so if I'm wrong, catch me. You were the first ever breakaway roping champion in Calgary last year, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's gotta be kind of cool. I mean, that's
it was super cool. It was, the whole experience was awesome, and it ended up being a really cool event. I'm super excited to get to go back, and I hope that soon we'll be in the rodeo with the rest of the events, because that'll be just a phenomenal experience. Because last year we were pretty tight going out there and coming back. We drove all night to get out there a couple hours before we roped, and we left as soon as we roped and drove all night back to Sheridan. So I'm hoping that, a couple more years and we'll get a rope in the big show and hang out for a couple days.
That'll be a moment when it happens. That will be a moment. Ladies, I appreciate your time very much. First and second in the big slot roping, Taylor won $68,000. Erin won $30,000 or $40,000.
42.
Yeah, $42,000. The Roping Futurities of America event. And Taylor, Erin, we may have lost Erin, but Taylor, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And Erin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing both of you on the road as the summer goes along. Please travel safe and keep on winning.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Two of the best breakaway ropers. Thank you. Travel safe, Taylor. Good luck in San Angelo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Two of the best breakaway ropers in the world, Taylor Munsell and Erin Johnson, joining us.